Merry Christmas to all my family and friends, Facebook friends, subscribers on YouTube. I had an inspiration to make a video tonight, so I'm going to make it. This is my third attempt. There seems to be some wonky stuff going on, so that's just the way it's got to be. What I'm talking about tonight, what I feel compelled to talk to you about, is the law of opposites. And you'll say, what is the law of opposites? Well, I, as those of you who know me know, am somewhat obsessed with the law of attraction. It's something I've been studying for years, and being a very stubborn person, I've been failing at it for years. The law of opposites says that when you put an intention out there, the first thing that shows up is the opposite of what your intention is. And that's the universe's way of testing you to see if you're ready for what you're intending for. Oftentimes, though, what ends up happening to us is we look at the opposite of what we want. It's there. It's in our reality. It's pretty damn hard to ignore, isn't it? But that's the key. You gotta learn to ignore it. You gotta learn to ignore reality. I know that ain't easy, okay? I get that. But that's the test. Can you control your mind? Can you control your attention and where it's going? We're going into the Christmas season. It's always such a warm and fuzzy time. But looking at the stars, I'm realizing that with this major Uranus-Pluto square that's happening, and we know Venus and Mercury is also kicking in to square it, activating that, it's going to be a challenging few weeks, folks, okay? You might get a bit stressed out. There might be things coming into your life that are going to try to get your attention. The question is, are you going to give it your attention? Because the minute you look at it, the minute you start talking about it, the minute you start telling your friends about it, you're reinforcing that. It can't go away and be replaced by something better if that's what you're talking about, if that's what you're putting your attention on, sorry. So the key to life is to ignore reality if it isn't what you want. Okay, I know that's hard because it's screaming in your face, all right? I look at my own life. A year ago, last December, man, my life, it was rough, okay? I could barely feed myself. My rent was late. I didn't have any money for Christmas presents. It was a very tough December. But I got sick of that. I said, you know what? I've been studying this law of attraction stuff for years. Obviously, I know that it's possible for me to attract wealth, for me to attract bliss and peace and happiness and all these things that at that point just seemed to be eluding me. But then I realized it kind of clicked in the law of opposites. I was giving my attention to what was in my reality so much, I couldn't make room for the greatness that was already coming, all the wonderful things that I'd intended on over the last decade or 30-some years. It was waiting there, just wanting to be put in my reality. But I was blocking it. How was I blocking it? I was giving attention to what was in my reality. You got to be able to tune out what's so visible in your life. And over the next 2 or 3 weeks, as we get closer to Christmas and we got the shopping and we got the cooking and we got the visiting with our family, which can be probably the most challenging part of the holidays, it's going to be your test to see if you can still, when that poverty, when that bill, when that angry relative shows up in your face, can you ignore that? If you can say, hey, that's just the law of opposites. That means what I really want, it's almost here. It's right around the corner. Instead of getting upset that the opposite of what you've been intending for is in your reality, you've got to learn to be excited about it. I know that sounds weird, but trust me on this. I've spent hours a day for a decade studying the law of attraction. I've listened to more Abraham Hicks. I mean, I get made fun of all the time by my family because I'm obsessed with that. I listen to Basher religiously. I've looked into this secret stuff, and I've read in books upon books about it. And the more I start to understand it, the more I realize how simple it is. But our whole reality has got us trained in such a way to use it against us, okay? And so you got to get your head kind of screwed on completely backwards to the way you've been brought up and trained to get this stuff to work for you. But trust me, it works, okay? My life today, compared to 1 year ago, look, I can't even you wouldn't believe me if I told you how much better things have gotten in my life. The money, the peace, the bliss. It's like a night and day difference, okay? And I guarantee you can have it too. And it's just about there. If you're looking at your life and saying, I got all this junk in my life that I completely opposite of what I wanted, what I've been thinking about, get excited about that. Get happy. Get happy knowing that, hey, that's my test. Okay, so now I focus more on what I've been intending. I focus more on what I want. And watch the miracles happen. It's going to happen. Hey, we're all just getting this now, okay? The energies are such that it's easier than ever to get this. The 1% rule. I mean, I don't know if some of you might not be aware of this, so I'll talk a little bit about it, but when 1% of the population gets something, it's like everybody gets it, okay? The 100 monkey syndrome. They were doing some tests on some monkeys in the Pacific Island by introducing a sweet potato covered in sand to the tribe of monkeys on this island in the Pacific to see what would happen. Well, they would like the sweet potato, but they don't like the sand, obviously. So, after a while, one of the younger monkeys figured out that, hey, I can wash this in the brook, and it tastes delicious. He taught his friends, his younger friends, and of course some of the older monkeys were a little bit, I don't know about this. The funny thing that happened from this experiment is about the time that the 100th monkey started washing his food in the brook, scientists started observing monkeys in other islands in the Pacific washing their food. All right, you get that? That's amazing. That means we're all connected in the collective. And the more people understand law of attraction, the easier it is for you to get. Ha! I mean, that's amazing. All right? So, if you want to get into this, now's the time. It'll make sense to you more than it ever has, thanks to movies like The Secret and the documentaries What the Bleep Do You Know and What the Bleep Do You Know Down the Rabbit Hole. And I mean, this stuff is out there now. People are getting it. People are waking up. And waking up to your godlike abilities to attract an amazing life. That's the heaven. That's the rapturous experience that we've all been waiting for. You don't have to wait till you die and get to heaven to have a heaven. You can have heaven on earth. How? Well, you can have hell on earth too. Hell on earth is using law of attraction completely backwards and just attracting all the crap that you don't want. And then when you see it and you look at it and you tell your friends about it and you text your friends, oh, this is happening to me. And you get on Facebook and you, oh, this is horrible. Hey, I've been guilty of this, okay? If you're on my Facebook, you know I'm guilty of this. But I'm learning, okay? I'm getting it. It's starting to get in there. I'm a very stubborn guy, but I eventually pick up on things. And you can get this. I just want to encourage you to stay in your center. Ignore reality. Keep thinking happy thoughts, enjoying those happy feelings, and watch your world change. Watch miracles happen in your life that you'll just be amazed at. Hey, if I'm wrong, so what? You thought some happy thoughts for a while. You ignored the bullshit that's in your life. That's not a bad thing. It's worth a shot. That's the worst that happens. But the best thing, what if I'm right? What if? Well, that means you can have $1 million. You can have anything you want if you believe. Jesus said, if you had the faith of a grain of mustard seed, you could do greater things than I'm doing. Walking on water, turning water into wine, raising people from the dead. Hey, he said it, and I believe it. Okay, I ain't a Christian by any stretch, but I was raised that way. There's a lot of truths to be found in the red parts of the Bible, I'll tell you that much. That I've learned to be true. Jesus said, if someone offends you, turn the other cheek. Okay, now a lot of people interpret that to mean if someone abuses you physically, that you should just walk away, and that's a very wise thing to do. But what he's really talking about in that scripture is if something upsets you, okay? If there's something in your reality that showed up that's getting you upset, look in the other direction, okay? Get that out of your head. Don't think about that. Don't give it any attention. Don't talk to your friends. Don't call your mother and tell her about it. Don't put it on your Facebook. Just ignore it. Look away at something else. And if you do that, hey, the world's your oyster, man. The world's your... just do it. Just try it. Just try it. There's science behind this. If you're a science, left brain kind of logical person and you're like saying, oh, the shade, he's just spouting all this nonsense, go on YouTube. What the bleep do you know? And then what the bleep do you know down the rabbit hole? In 3 hours, you'll realize quantum physics and science backs all this crap up, man. This shit is real. It's happening, and people are using it every single day to create wonderful lives. You gotta believe, you gotta have a bit of faith, and you gotta open your mind up to the possibility that maybe I could do this. Maybe I have the power of a God. Okay? Imagine if you had the power of Jesus inside you. I believe you do. I believe I do. You have to be connected to it. You have to believe it. Put some faith out there. Ignore the bullshit. Excuse my language. Focus on the positive for 30 days. Watch your life change. 2015 can be our best year ever. And it will be. I'm going to make it my best year ever. I'm going to do and attract some amazing things into my life. It's already happening. I feel it. And some of the stuff that showed up in the last few months, hey, the law of opposites is working for me. I'm telling you what, there's some awesome things coming down the pipeline. Get happy, stay in your moment, stay in your bliss, think happy thoughts, and spread this joy through your holiday season. And watch the miracles happen. And if you found that this video helped you a little bit, I would encourage you to share with your friends and subscribe. I don't do these videos often, but I get inspired once in a while when I have my workout and I just feel like I got to get it off my chest. So, hey, thanks for listening. I appreciate it. Have yourself a fantastic Christmas, and we'll see you in 2015, if not before. Thank you very much.